Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesigndetectives.com. Well, a couple of days ago we made this little video and showed you how to make a rain effect over any of your elements with a bit of CSS and JS. We had a question, somebody wanted to turn the rain into snow. So I've modified the code a little bit and this is what I came up with. I think that's a nice little effect. As you can see, this sort of random snow-type flakes are falling down. I know mine are round and not snowflake shape. That's a nice little effect. Really easy to do. So let's get started. I'm going to start a new page. We'll give our page a name. And of course, use the Divi builder. I'm going to go ahead and build from scratch. Now, of course, this code will work with any website. It'll work with HTML websites, Bootstrap websites, and any WordPress website you want because it's CSS and JS, which is universal. I happen to be using the Divi theme today. This stuff down the bottom has nothing to do with our page. This is part of our global footer here. It's actually a blank page up here. When you start a new page, it prompts you to put in a row. It puts in a default section for you. I'm just going to throw in a single column in my row. And as the other day, I'm just going to throw in a call to action module. Obviously, you're going to want to put in whatever content you want in your section. Okay, obviously, put in your title there where it says title. Put your button text in there. You may have noticed there's no button, or you may not have noticed there's no button because there's no button. And you can put your content down here. The button won't show up until you put a link for it down below here. So let's do that. I'm going to open up the link. I'm just going to put a hashtag in mine for a placeholder. Obviously, you have a real link. As soon as you put that in there, your buttons are going to show up. And of course, you can style the title, body text, and the button over in design. I'm not going to do that today. We'll just continue on. Now, back to content. I'm going to take that crazy greeny blue color off the background there. That writing's going to disappear into the white background. That's okay for the moment. So background, always under content. I'm just going to trash it by hitting the little trash can icon here in the color field. Great. So we've got nothing. Let's put something in the background here. So let's save our changes in our call to action settings. We'll go back into the section, the blue tab for the section here. And again, background's always under content. I'm just going to throw a black color in there. So we've got something and we can see our text. Fantastic. Now to make this a little bit more dramatic, I'm going to make this full screen height. To do that, go over to design and sizing. I'm going to go down to minimum height, and we did this with our other one the other day. I'm going to give it 100 VH, which is viewable height. So any screen they're watching it on, it's going to be 100% of the viewable screen. I'm using minimum so that if it's on small devices and we've got more content, it can get bigger if it needs to. Okay, well, let's just pop this content a little further down. We close up sizing. I can do that with spacing. I'm going to put some padding on the top. So 25 viewable height. Well, that's about right for me. Obviously, adjust yours as needed. We could do it with display flex and justify, but this is going to work for me today. Great. So we've got our little section there. Let's just save that. And we'll add our snow effect. I'm going to add a little code module. So just roll over your last module, hit the little dark button. There's the code module right there. And don't panic when I say code. I've written it all for you. And you'll find the link down below the video. It'll take you to this GitHub page. And here's the actual code itself. You're going to want to copy it from the opening style tag there, all the way down to the closing script tag there. Make sure you don't miss any of the little pointy brackets. Control C to copy. Let's go back to our site. I'm just going to paste that in my code module here. Control V to paste. And I'll take you through some of this code in a moment. Now, the first thing we need to do is apply this snowing class name to the element we want the snowflakes to appear on. When you write a class name, you need to put a dot or a period in front like that. When you apply the name to an element, you don't need the dot or period. So I'm going to copy the snowing there, or you can just type it in if you want to, or Control-C to copy. I'm going to save our code right there. I'm going to go into the section again, the blue tab. This is where we want the snowflakes to fall from. Over to the advanced, you'll find CSS IDs and classes. If you click on that, CSS ID and CSS class, make sure you put it in the class and not the ID. Remember, we don't need the dot or the period in front there. If you put it in the ID, it's not going to work. Okay, well, again, you may have noticed that there's no snow falling. Well, you probably didn't, again, because there's no snow falling. Now, you won't see this until we exit the Visual Builder. So if I just save now, we exit the Visual Builder. We've got an initial little flurry that falls down, and when that's fallen down, you'll see the snow will actually start to fall there. Perfect. And like I say, you will not see this on the back end. You'll only see it once you've saved and exited the Visual Builder. I think that's quite a nice effect. Well, let's go back in there. We'll make this a little more dramatic with a little image behind there. And also, I'll take you through this code if you want to modify it to have more snow or make it fall quicker or something like that. So let's re-enable the Visual Builder. First thing I'm going to do is add an image to this section just to make it a little bit more interesting. Blue tab again for the section. Backgrounds always under content. Third tab along is the image. Click on the plus to add an image. I'll add that little snowland scene up there. Great. Now that's a nice picture, but my writing's getting a little lost in there and button and things. Now I put a color in here. You can use any color you want. We've got a black at the moment. I can merge that with my image to make this text stand out and still see some of the image. So if we go back to the image, we roll down here. You've got background image blend. There's all kind of different ones to choose from. The one I'm going to use today is multiply. But if you play with these, you can get some wonderful effects, especially if you're using a color rather than a black like I'm doing at the moment. So I'm going to pop mine back on multiply and it'll go absolutely black, which is no good because we can't see the image. But we can gradient that black down by going over to the color. Make sure you click on the first tab here, click on the actual color field itself. You'll find a variegated slider, which is opacity. We can bring this down so we can see as much as our image as we want, but I still want to be able to read that writing. And that's not too bad there. We can see the image, but I can easily see that writing and button there. Fantastic. Great. Well, let's take you through this code and show you how to modify it if you need to. Going to go back down to my code module. Now, code modules don't take up a lot of real estate. Occasionally, you'll have trouble finding it on the builder here. If that's the case, just hit your little purple button. We got a little icon on the left-hand side, wireframe mode. You can go in there. It will show you the back end. There's our section. There's the row. There's the two little modules we've got in there. You can get in this way if you need to. Let's just open that up and we'll flip it back to desktop mode. Okay, well, the top part here is our CSS between the style tags. And as you saw earlier, we've got a class name. We told it what element we want this to work on. Then here's where the snowflakes are being generated. It's starting from the top -10 pixels up here. And it's got a little color. It's got a border radius of 50%, which is round, as you saw. There's no pointer event, so it doesn't make you click or anything, or you can click through the back of it and get to what you want here. And we're using a couple of animations to actually make the snow effect. It's falling from 100 viewable height at the top, +10, so it's just up here, all the way to the bottom there. And we've got a bit of a sway going on left and right. If you want to up the sway, we can up it by whatever pixels you want. I'll adjust this in a moment. And here we've got our script, which is actually generating the number of snowflakes and the randomness. And right here on my line 32, I put a little note there. You can adjust the number of snowflakes that you want. So you can have a blizzard, or you can just have a few falling if you want to. We've got a random size here. Mine are between 10 and 5 pixels. If you want to up the size, just change those numbers there. And we've got a little delay down here random delay, which makes them look a little bit more real, I think, anyway. Okay, well, let's say we want to up the number of snowflakes. Let's start that first. Number of snowflakes right here. On mine, it's line 32. Let's double it. Let's make it 200. Now let's perhaps have them sway a little bit more. Here's the sway in the CSS just above. I've got 10 pixels. Let's up it to 30 pixels. That should make quite a difference, actually. Now let's save our changes and see what it looks like on the front end. Save draft or publish if you're ready. We'll exit the Visual Builder. There's our initial flurry. As you can see, there's twice as many of them. And again, they're starting to fall here, and they've got a bit more of a sway on them than before. Here's our initial one. And the one we've just done has got twice the amount of snowflakes. So there you go, guys. There's how to add a snow effect to any element on your site. Like I say, this will work with any WordPress, HTML, or Bootstrap site. So I hope that's answered that question. I hope you've enjoyed this today. If you have, give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and WebDesignAndTechTips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.